what's up? Welcome to the show. I am your host, Vaquita Taylor. I just want to welcome you guys on the show tonight. I've missed you. Have you missed me? Oh my God, it's been so long. There's been a lot of things going on, but we got to maneuver. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Oh my God. I've missed it. So, again, I want to welcome you guys to Creative Emotions here live. There are a couple of ways you can reach me. If you want to call in on today's topic, you can give me a call at 313-855-5737. There is a couple of sponsorship opportunities. If you want to sponsor your business to be talked about on this platform or shown on this platform, you can email me at creativeemotions3@gmail.com. You can reach out on Facebook, on IG. You can look me up. Everything's the same. Vaquita Taylor. Just Google Vaquita Taylor. Look me up on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook. You guys can reach me in those ways. I want to give a big shout out to WGOD and Podcasting Network. If you guys are looking to have your own show this upcoming year, if this is something that you want to get into, give them a call. They do have opportunities here for you to have your own platform. Again, there are sponsorship opportunities. Today's show is about releasing masculine energy. And so I want you guys to really understand this is for women, but me and you are able to call in just to talk about your experience if you feel like you have encountered a woman with masculine energy that was more hard and maybe it was a turnoff, because we trying to figure it out. A lot of women are operating in a survival mode. It is, we have to be that way because you may be a single mom or all the women in your family are just like that. So I'm not giving an excuse, but some people don't know. Some people choose not to be extra feminine or, sometimes we need to learn just like you guys need to learn. So again, the topic today is releasing masculine energy. So I am going to look here. So I got to share. Make sure you share. Share this with your peoples. And it is live. Share. Okay. Again, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. I know people have been calling and asking me, like, are you still doing your show? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Creative Emotions. There we go. I was trying to put it so. Oh, I know. I got it. I was trying to put it so people can comment, but again, you guys can call in. So we're going to talk about releasing masculine energy. So I'm going to give you guys one word. And if I can give you that one word, it will be balance. We have to have a balance in what we do. And as I spoke before, a lot of times the way we operate is because of our experiences. It's what we're used to. It's just how we move. And it may not be right. And, this journey is not about pointing out people's rights and wrongs. It's about learning. It's about accountability. It's about pulling somebody to the side and letting them know what you know. I feel like that's what it's about. I don't think we can always try to tell somebody right, because throughout this whole world, we're all, moving in our own journey. We're moving in our own time. We may have some of the same experiences, but everything is different when it comes down to it. So This is just my take on it. So this is not a topic that we talk about on the regular as women, sitting around drinking a cup of coffee, but we should. We should have more conversations like, girl, why you talk to him like that? Or, dang, you don't think that was kind of rough? Or, holding each other accountable. I think it should be more of that. This is a force that impacts and affects our lives in a powerful way, especially in our love life, our relationships, and marriages. This is something that, it affects us. Because women want to be loved and men want to be respected. And if we can kind of, move in that flow of knowing our parts in our relationships, friendships, or anything, I think it'll bring out that balance. But women are beautiful creatures. The things that we can do are remarkable, from carrying life to being matriarchs in the family, to being the helpmate to another soul, to a healthy balance, work, and personal life. And so not only do we have to deal with our own personal lives, but we have to deal with the lives of our children. We have to be helpmates to our prospective spouses. And so it is a pull. It's sometimes we can get off balance, and this is what this show is primarily about, just to remind you to find that balance, whatever that is. So there definitely comes a point when, like I said, we can be left in survival mode and forget to return back into the space that's allotted for us. The space that we were allotted was to be helped. We were the softer side of things. Now we are sometimes so rough and harsh. Like I said, because I know a lot of times that I can come across like harsh, and it's not on purpose. It's not to necessarily, down anyone or disrespect anyone. It's just my approach to things. Or if I'm passionate and I'm talking about something, I can come across a bit harsh. And so, the place of softness, agreeable, rational, understanding, pleasant, full of wisdom and knowledge, and not just ball busting and telling it how it is. That's something that we need to think about, because, just because we know don't mean we always have to say. And one of the things last year I was working on was more listening, less talking and more listening. Because a lot of times we can, a lot of times, we can feel like we know something, so we feel like we got to tell everybody or, show people, what it is. We don't, not all the time. If you listen, to understand, then you may not even need to respond. You may just need to listen. And so a lot of times women, if we can talk less and listen more, and just listen to those things that are not said, not saying you got to be a mind reader, but there is some indications that you can listen and just be like, oh, okay, that's what they need. Or that, that's not just with a relationship. That's with anything. That's at work. That's with your children, listening to them, listening to your spouse, just being able to listen. I think that's, it's important. It's to find that balance in that. But we can return back to that space. Like I said, for me, I was just like, you know what? I'm already a tall woman, a bigger woman, and, so I can kind of tower over people, or my voice may be a little sterner, a little deeper, or whatever. And so for me, I just had to say around, certain people, I start catching myself and watching their language, their reaction to how I'm talking, and I'm serious about it or I'm passionate about it. They may not know that. So they like, okay, calm down. So it's not changing me. It's just me holding me accountable to my body cues and how I'm talking and what I'm saying and how I'm saying it. We got to always, consider other people. So, like I said, we all must choose our words wisely. And that's why, one of my biggest things is speak life, speaking positive, being softer, even in that. A lot of times we complain a lot about our relationships or, different things that's going on. That's not choosing your words wisely. And if your word is actually your wand, which means you are literally shaping things in your life, you will be a little bit more careful with how you're speaking about your relationship, your life, your work, everything. It matters with everything. So we tip over and lose balance when we begin to operate in masculine energy more than feminine energy. That is a thing. And so we can never be a man. A man can never be a woman. Let's start there. Because when you think about it, even on these little so-called holidays, women be like, I'm the mother and the father. You cannot be. Only thing you can do is be a mom, and you're doing a little bit more. But we can never be men. We can never be fathers. And so when we understand that, that also keeps us in our role. So it's okay that sometimes we're a little bit more softer when it comes to the children because there's supposed to be a balance, so it's okay. Like, don't be so hard on yourself, but still hold yourself accountable if you don't have people around you that hold you accountable. So we can just operate strongly in different energies, which is shown up in our character and how we treat each other. So there's a such thing as a feminine glow. It appears when when inner joy is real. Your spirit is full and fed, and you're radiating an inner light. Our feminine energy can be seen and felt by others. And like I said, if you look at other people's body when you're talking to them, it will also show if we're being harsh, if we're being hard, if we're being negative. You'll see people step back. You'll see people squint when they're looking at you like, okay, like, wow. So just make sure, you're just being mindful of that, just being mindful of how you talk. And even when you talk softer, it's less energy that you're using. So we just need to get back to the softer side of things. The masculine energy is assertive and dominant, and feminine energy is intuitive and caring. There is a shift in the paradigm, and these can be totally divorced from the construct of gender, and we all have a combination of both. And so it is a combination of feminine and masculine energy, but sometimes women are showing more of their they're acting out more of the masculine energy. If you see a conversation, you talking to a dude and you talking just like the dude, a dude don't want to be with a woman that's acting like a man. Just coming from, I talk to a lot of men, in different ways. And that's one thing I noticed, men agree on that. Like, they don't want a woman that acts like a man. So whether it's your demeanor, you talking, you cursing, hitting your hand, we gotta get back to our softer side of doing things. So I truly believe that what we tap into the most will show up the most dominant, from the way we walk to how we sit, how we dress, and the state of allowing that is affected. So when I say a state of allowing, a lot of times we don't allow men to be men. Unfortunately, I can say, me personally, that was, an issue for me, because in my head, I thought when men do things for me that they wanted something in return. Not to say that I felt like I had to give something in return. It was just that give and receive, or, give and you gotta give something. And so when people used to, ask if they can do something for me, I'm like, no, I'm straight. No, I'm good. No, I got it. Always, that's a state of not allowing. God could send somebody your way to help you out. And because we walk around sometimes with pride or, whatever it is, we like, no, I'm straight. No, I'm good. Or not allowing a man to be a man, like, that's a real thing. And it's affecting the receiving state on our end. Because there is men out here that do stuff and they want something in return, but it's not all men. And so it's kind of unfair to think that. But again, it can be in our head, like the mental can play tricks on us, and how, we have a relationship with men and what they do for us. So some things like opening doors, pulling out chairs. I can say early on when I was younger, I would walk up in front of a man. Like, I would open the door and be gone. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's not cool. I mean, if anything was to happen, we want men to be protectors, and we want them to be in these roles, but we're not allowing them to be in these roles a lot of the times. Pulling out your chair, we feel like, oh, and I want you to do all of that. Like, allow a man to open your door, allow a man to pull out your chair and say thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to allow it in order for it to keep happening. A lot of women like, I got it. No, you know. And so a lot of men like, well, I ain't doing it. I was walking into work the other day and a man opened one of my doors, you know, and somebody came out the opposite side. And so he swooped over and went through that door like, dang, you ain't want to open my door that bad that you going to go over to the other side? So a lot of people are not inclined to do those things. It's not natural for them to do those things. But a lot of men that do those things don't want to do those things anymore because a lot of women are not allowing them to do it. And so let's be in that state of allowing, that's allowing a man to be a man. Ordering food. That's a whole nother situation. Somebody saying, what you want, because they want to order your food. I thought that was kind of weird, but some people want to order your food. So if they ask you, like, what would you be having? You let them know what you having. Let them order the food. If it make them feel better, let them order the food. So that's like just being in that state of allowing. Like I said, opening doors, pulling out chairs, ordering food, walking on the opposite side of the street. That's not considered controlling. That's actually caring about your well-being and trying to do something that they were taught. That's considered being a gentleman. So if the masculine energy is dominant, this can be looked at negatively, and there could be a fight for independence there. And I can say I was that person. And women get to a place where they literally fight for their independence. So it can look like on your end that they're not allowing you, when in their own mind, they're battling with, it's this giving up part of me. It's this giving up my independence. Well, ladies, I'm here to tell you, it's not. When you just allowing a man to show you, like I said, the way he's been brought up, or, if he's trying to turn a new leaf to be a different way, that's not taking away from who you are as an individual. It's not taking away from your independence. When you decide to be in a marriage, because that's what I push for, not situationships, but when you decide to be in a marriage, it's no longer about you. And that's what I learned. That's what I had to learn the hard way. It's no longer about you, even though we want to still live in our independence and our individuality. You're still an individual, but once you say, I do, or you have somebody in your life to that capacity, it's really not just about you anymore. So feminine magnetism is the natural attracting and drawing power that we uniquely possess as women. That is what we have naturally combined with our beliefs and thoughts, which shapes a lot of the reality that we face. So a lot of things that we are, is shaped because of these different things that are in our life. So when God invited us into the space to be help. So femininity is rooted in who God has created a woman to be through biological composition and inward spirit. That's what's supposed to make us enjoyable to be around. That's what's supposed to make us soft. It's supposed to be the inward spirit, because we should be watching and we should be praying, not always talking and not always, telling people off. Because I understand. It's a lot of things that, happen that we go through. But the bottom line is we choose the people that's in our life. And a lot of times we don't have to choose or deal with those people. But we continue. And so in that instance, we have to compromise when we're talking about dealing with a whole different individual, on top of the different gender, on top of the different background and the upbringings, and all of these things play a factor. So you can't get with somebody and think it's going to be an automatic togetherness. It's not. It's going to be some things that we have to learn, some things that we have to compromise on, and you don't want to lose your femininity in the middle of that. So as a believer, we have been taught to be like the Proverbs 31 woman. I didn't take it like be just like her, because, you know, if you are a believer and you go to church, everybody talk about the Proverbs 31. But she actually had some great qualities. And so those are some of the things that you can look at. So she brings honor to her home and her family through her character. Some characteristics are her faith. And so if you are a woman of faith, you should be operating like a woman of faith. A lot of times it's things, you know, if I tell a person, this is my faith and this is what I'm trying to do, and then I do something totally opposite, it's hard for them to take me and my faith serious. And so that's something that you have to understand with the boundaries that we have to set. It still shouldn't take away from your femininity. Just being able to say, okay, this is my faith and this is what I'm doing. And people are allowed, once you put that up front, people are allowed to make their decision after that. The problem is when we moving in our faith and we allow people in our space and then we expect them to get with the program. That's not how that works. So you stand your ground, and these are some of the characteristics. So faith. She was a wife, which means she had responsibility. She had a man in her life. She was a mom, which means she had to take care of her children. Health. She cared about her health, her family's health. She had a servant heart, which means she cared about her community. She did things in her community. That's huge, because we can't just think about just our circle. I feel like we all are put here to show the love of God in everything that we do, whether it's in communication, whether it's in act. Our word, our deed, whatever we do, I feel like we definitely should be showing the love of God. She was financially savvy. A old girl dealt with her family, dealt with her children, dealt with the community, and she had a business. She took care of her business. She was industrious, which means she sold up the clothes, and, she did everything. That's having that balance, not taken away from, just about the home. Like, she spread it out. So being a homemaker, she took care of her home. She spent her time well. So those are things that we have to think about when we think about our feminine energy, when we think about what we bring to the table. When men say, what do you bring to the table? What do you say? Is it just me? Yeah, I'm bringing me. Because that's not enough. If you feel like you're a woman that really don't care about being sexually active and having bodies on you, and you say, oh, well, I'm bringing my body, or I'm giving them sex, that's not enough. That's not going to do it. What are you going to bring, though? Like, what are you going to bring to the table? If he can take care of all his things, take care of everything himself, because that's what people are. Like, okay, if I can cook, I can clean myself, I can do this, I can do that. Why should he pick you? Why should he choose you? Why are you, what do you have? And so when you think about your softness, your feminine energy, you bring in peace. You're not being argumentative all the time. You're not fighting. You're not nagging, whatever. Because, of course, men gonna say they want sex. Yes, okay. But, in the real world, that's what people do, but you're never satisfied with that. I'm talking about being in a real relationship, looking to be a wife. If you are not a wife, I'm talking about if you are a wife and you're trying to take over in a masculine way in your home. These are the things I'm talking about. Pulling back a little bit and finding your place in the feminine energy. Just saying, you know what? Let me not talk as much, and let me not speak about this, and let me come at him another way. Let me see the different ways that I can communicate, or just finding or navigating your home personally. I'm talking to wives. I'm talking to people that are looking to be wives. Sex is not enough. That's not enough. But yes, it is important to men. Of course, it's important. It's important to women too. Now, don't get it twisted. When you married, sex is important to women too. So don't think that it's not. Women just are not inclined to give their body to 100 different men unless you're prostituting. And who wants that? Do you want that as a wife? No. So let's be real about it. Again, you can give us a call at 313-855-5737. This is a live show. I am talking about releasing masculine energy. A lot of times we are moving and operating in masculine energy, and men are noticing it, and they are turned off by it because women are very, very strong acting or overbearing and overpowering in their conversation, and not too soft. So it's important that we get in touch with that. We stay in touch with that. I just want to give you guys 10 signs of a woman being too masculine. So if you see yourself in these, just take note. So number 1, you have been described as having a hard edge or being too intense. That's number 1. You are easily angered, and people often tell you that you look mad. Are you always looking mad? You always looking angry? You always got your face frowned up? You often speak harshly or use a lot of profanity. That's not even just for men. I personally can't have a conversation with people that's just always cursing. It's like, come on. Now, to me, profanity is harsh. It's just like, it's hard and harsh. Men or women. You definitely should watch it, because a woman don't want a man that's always using profanity and cussing every other word, and don't nobody want to deal with that. So that's for women and men, but I'm talking about 10 signs of women being too masculine. So you are an overdoer and are always in perpetual busy mode. I used to definitely be in busy mode and not really going nowhere fast. So really count the cost of why you're doing what you're doing, and see, like, this busy mode, is it helping you in any type of way? Are you coming up on something? Are you working on something? A lot of times we have our hands in a lot of pots, and we don't get nowhere fast. So there is a lot of overdoing activity in your life that keeps you constantly on the go. Are you constantly on the go with a lot of just doings? You ain't really doing nothing. You just constantly, I gotta go here, I gotta go here, I gotta go run here, I gotta drop this off, you a part of this, a part of that, a part of this and that. Yeah, that's doing too much, because a lot of times we leave our homes wide open. Like, who at the crib? These kids is like, mama gone, daddy gone, ain't nobody at home. I feel like this is the number one thing that kind of, took the balance off of the home. Like, both parents are gone. Both of them out. And so you have a hard time being still and relaxing. Asking for help or support is a challenge for you. You feel like you have to handle it or do it yourself, even when help is present. Yeah, that's a little bit of pride, too. I'm going to tell you. I found myself in a couple of these. I was like, oh, okay. You feel uneasy being hugged or appropriately touched. A lot of times, that's a mental thing when you can't be appropriately approached and touched without feeling, awkward. So you may get feedback from men that you are intimidating, too independent, or don't seem like you need a man. That's a problem. That is a real problem. So if you answered yes to 5 or more, you may need to check your masculine energy and move into the more feminine energy. It is a thing. So overstimulation of the masculine energy can affect us all negatively. Too much all over the place, not enough downtime or relaxation, or filling the spirit. Always allowing others to steal your joy, being future focused all the time instead of relaxed and present. Always chasing the bag and leaving the home unattended. We gotta get back to our homes, ladies. We gotta get back to order and structure in our homes. just making sure we in the children's, making sure we in their business, making sure we spending time with them. I notice a lot of people are focused so much on their relationship, and the children are left alone. Focus so much on, dates or spending time with the other person, or, you out and about all the time. And in the long run, it ultimately builds damaged children. When they'll be like, oh, my mother wasn't never home, or my daddy was always at work. And, so it becomes a reoccurring cycle. We have to keep dealing with the same emotions and feelings that we had to deal with, or know somebody that dealt with those kind of things. So be a little intentional with attending to your home. That's important. So some people don't have a choice, though. Some people are single mothers in the home, and even with that, you can find balance. So this is the whole point of this. But we can't be mothers and fathers. I notice, when Father's Day come around, somebody said they're trying to call in. 313-855-5737. Okay. Okay. But yeah, we can't be mothers and fathers. And I notice a lot of times during Father's Day, it's like, I'm the mother and the father. No, sis. No, you're not. You're just a mom. It's okay. And, fathers, you do have a lot of active fathers that are doing, what they're supposed to do. Some of them are not, but, that don't make us have both. We can't have both. So, yeah, we had a call. Did it come through? Oh, okay. Hey. Mm-hmm. I'm live. So we had a caller, just waiting for the caller to call back. I don't know what happened. Oh yeah, for sure. Listen, a little silence never hurt nobody. Eight five five. 855-5737?
Yeah, we calling them back. How about that?
Huh?
We calling them back.
Okay.
So you already been called.
Huh? You got it? Again, I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. The conversation tonight is embracing, releasing masculine energy, and I'm encouraging women to embrace. We call her. Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Welcome to the show. Sorry about that.
Sorry. I was trying to call in through video, but I'm not sure that wasn't working correctly.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. I don't know if you wouldn't listening to the show, but I'm talking about releasing masculine energy. And, like I said, I've had conversations with a lot of, I have different people that I communicate with, and just talking to men about this and how they feel, like how is it affecting you guys when women operate in this masculine energy. If you can touch on that a little bit, like how you feel about that, how it makes you feel.
First of all, I don't believe that a lot of women know that they're operating in it.
Okay.
And from just my perspective, and a lot of my male friends that I talk with, it puts you in a position where you're in a relationship with a woman, but it's kind of hard to stay there, and something doesn't feel right when there's two masculine spirits in the room. So it's like, okay, so everybody is going to have a provider mentality.
Oh,
And
okay.
so, yeah, that makes it a little awkward because us man, when we talk about, I'm just going to touch on this,
Mm-hmm.
about what a woman can bring to the table. Most of the guys that I talk to, and these guys are over 40, first thing they say is peace. And
Okay.
then also the ability to not tear down what it took so long for us to build. So
Okay. When it
we
comes
meet a
to.
woman,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, when we meet a woman and she's just talking about making money, getting that cash, guys are really not concerned with that. Not a real man that has a provider mentality.
Okay.
The first two things that I named about the peace and you have ability not to tear down what we build, but maybe add to it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Different ways to say, hey, we can save in this area.
Mm-hmm.
That's more so what we look at. So it's most guys can't figure it out, and I believe they walk away or they have a hard time committing to the relationship because they just can't seem to put their finger on it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And what do you mean by what you build?
So up into most men, when you build your foundation, it can be just your financial situation as far as your business, your credit, just how you develop your home as far as your spiritual walk in your home.
Okay.
That peace tone, right?
Okay.
And I think we're more so concerned with that because after a long day, and not taking anything from a woman, after a long day, you most definitely want to come home to some peace.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can look around and everything that you build is there. And then you have someone now to secure that and build with you. So we're more so looking at that. But you were about to ask me something. What were you going to ask me? Because I don't want to miss out.
Oh, no, that makes a lot of sense. I was actually asking, following up with what you said, as far as the peace. But what does that look like to you? Like when you say women don't know that they may be operating in that masculine energy, can you give me an example?
Like in the past, I have either dated or been married to women that were single parents, and they had to operate sometimes if the father was not there active.
Okay.
They had to wear two hats.
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah. So in that survival mode, basically.
In that survival mode, or attempting to be there in male capacity if they have a son. But then when you have a man that comes into your life, ladies, and you have to give him an opportunity, and I'm sure you can see it from a distance when he's coming in there to build but not to tear down, and he has a true provider mentality, you have to say, well, you know what? I guess, I don't have to talk about grinding it out, I don't have to talk about getting this money, that's not what we're looking for, not at all.
Okay.
So that part right there, I think it would take either the man to tell you, or you have to realize that I no longer have to walk in that, in those shoes, and I can just walk in my purpose, and I don't have to try to be the provider of the household anymore.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's
a man that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just thinking like that. It takes. I feel like we have to unlearn some things with that, and that takes time. And so if you see that initially when you're dating a woman, is that something you bring up, or is that something that scares you off?
Sometimes I have not recognized it right away. Just recently at my age, I've learned how, in some current events in my life, I've learned how to recognize it now. However, you have to approach it cautiously and, a little gentle because, it could make a person be a little offended, But sometimes it will have you walk away if you don't know exactly what it is. You know.
Okay. Or if you feel like you don't have time to figure it out.
Yeah, because see, a man naturally wants to feel to be needed.
Okay.
But if in everything in you, you're saying, "Hey, I got this. This is what I'm doing," you say, "Hey, there's no room here for me." Now, I'm not saying that, and I do. So when a man meets a woman, he likes to know that she's able to sustain herself. She's secure, right?
Yeah.
But he's not looking for her to bring anything financial to the table.
A real man, right?
The real man is not.
Okay. Because I
you just
think
want to see that you're responsible.
I think it's okay. So it's a difference with a real man because a lot of guys feel like they want to know what you're bringing to the table. Like, you know, some men have the mentality of 50-50. Some men have the mentality of when she gonna take me out and what she gonna do for me. But then you have the notion that a real man won't let you take them out or they won't let you spend your money. And so how do we even differentiate the two?
Now, I would have to say it's nothing wrong from time to time because I believe male and female, you should date one another. And I don't think a man would refuse, say, hey, you know, this time for a woman to say, this time around, babe, I got the tab. You know, you're always picking it up. It's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Right? But I think what happens is when it comes with, I hear a lot of women saying she a boss, you know. And I was thinking about something today, and my mom used to always tell my sisters, you know, it's better to be seen than heard. And I said, wow, I had to think about that. See, because you could be making moves in your purpose, right?
Okay.
But we don't have to broadcast that we getting a cash winning. You know, just make your moves. A man to see you moving in silence, he'll see you. He'll see you walking your purpose. You don't have to broadcast it.
Okay.
You know, not at all. And you know, I think that that's attractive to me to see a woman with some ambition.
Okay.
Right?
So what's your ideal of a soft feminine woman?
You know what?
Like
you
would
just
you
read
know
my
her?
mind.
Huh?
You read my mind because I thought about that today when I thought about seeing the show title. A woman that's really walking in feminine energy, it's intoxicating, you know, because she's doing things and she's just moving through so softly. And it's nothing loud. I was on my way out of work today, and there were some ladies outside, and they were cursing and you know, talk about, yeah, I'm working on, I'm about to get this cash and all this. And it's like, well, really? That is, you know, that's something maybe that you and the fellas talk about. But a real man is looking, and just for me,
Okay.
That nurturing energy.
Okay.
That compassion, and that nurturing.
Yeah.
You know, and you can spot that a mile away. It's almost like you're a unicorn if you're a woman walking in that.
Like she gonna stand
You know,
out. She don't have no choice but to stand out.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with you know, you having goals in life.
Yeah.
And we all should have it. But just know when you are in the presence of someone, a man that is walking, you know, he's praying with his family. He has a provider mentality. And you just have to say, it may take, ladies, it may take you a minute, but you will say, well, you know what, I don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah, I think some of us wait for that. Like, look,
you
we
know,
tired.
I'm tired of being
tired of being so
I'm tired
strong.
of being strong. Yes, that part right there.
That's a thing.
That part.
That is a thing. Listen, some women are like, okay, enough already. And it's not to say that, you know, you're looking for somebody to totally take care of you, but, you know, two is better than one. And I know that this generation now, yeah, This generation now is just like, I don't need this and I'm doing it on my own, or trying to push sisterhood so much. And it's like, sisterhood is good, but God made woman for man and man for woman, and we both bring something uniquely to the table, and that's what we need to focus more on. Those relationships, not so much the friend relationships, but those lifelong relationships, that relationship that's going to support you and help you and provide that balance. I think a lot of people are getting away from marriage in a sense. You know, if you ask women now, like, are you ready for your husband? You know, a lot of women are like, no, I'm doing me, I'm loving me, and I'm embracing me and self-love and this, and it's just like wow. So it's a little rough in the waters.
and I'd like to add to that right there. First thing I want to say is, you know, as a man, you know, it's good to have somebody you know that you can build with. Right? I have, I watched my father. That he was a really good businessman. He's still living, but you know, retired. And I watched some of his friends, which were ladies, and they had that mentality, and they were doing well. You know, back in the day. You know.
Yeah.
And I watched the years go by. And in the end, they had that I'm good, I'm doing me sort of energy. But in the end, they wanted that companionship.
Wow.
They wanted that man. They wanted that man there. But when they were walking in their prime, it was just all. It seemed
important.
like
it
was not important. And I seen it, and I said, wow, you know, they want that companionship.
Yeah, don't nobody want to be alone for real.
Yeah, so we have to, man, I would just say be patient with it. Ladies, you can recognize it, and it's okay not to be strong, you know. We're attracted to the softness. And I was talking to some friends, and they was like, man, it seemed like all guys wanted sex, right? So then sometimes that's the softest thing about you.
Wow.
And so you have to start right. And if you think about it, if you're getting the message across,
that's deep. We just gonna have to stop right there. Men said sometimes you think all they want is sex, but that's the softest thing that you have on you. Wow. Really?
Yeah.
That's a shame. No. We can't have that, okay? That's not the softest thing. I know, but I hear you, though. I hear you.
Sometimes, yeah. I've been in situations where I have to realize now that I'm like, man, this woman was doing good, you know, career-wise. This is when I was much younger. But I could never put my finger on it. But that was the softest thing about her.
Wow.
You know?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
we need to think about that.
Yeah, I was looking at some photos on Instagram and Facebook, and I said, what happened to the smile with the ladies? Everybody got this boss look, they finger on their chin,
Dang.
you know, their arms folded. And I said, wow. You know what I'm saying?
That's like, a good observation, because that's true.
Masculine energy, right? And it's like we need business up in here, you know. But sometimes you have to be careful, because you can make so many boss moves, right? And that image, that the very thing you're hoping for, you fight yourself against with that.
Wow. So, like really at the end wanting companionship or wanting somebody of your own. Wow. So we got 5 more minutes. We're about to wrap up.
You know, we could probably go on and on.
You already know. I truly appreciate your calling in and your opinion. Like, it matters. I like to hear from men and hear their opinions and what they think about things like that. Because ultimately, we have a different generation now where,
Absolutely.
men of value is so big now. When you think about, six figures this and money that, and now the women,
Yes.
it's just, it's all crazy. And we're missing connection with people. At the end of the day,
Yes,
it's really
absolutely.
about true connection, and we miss connection by having these unhealthy expectations. You looking at people for ultimately what they shoes, they clothes, whatever. We're being a little shallow
Absolutely.
about some things when we really need to think deeper and look deeper and really look forward to those connections. And so I encourage women, if this helped one person, it's done its job, because we really need to be mindful of the energy that we put out. Really be mindful of the climate of self this and self that and me and my and I, when really you need to, we all have a purpose and why we're here. And men do have something to do with that purpose. We were called in that way, so we can be so far in the future that the now is in complete shambles. And I was talking about that earlier for Chef, that our houses are in shambles while we're out trying to run the streets and chase the bag and do all these type of things. So
Absolutely.
look around you, ladies, and self-evaluate. When we carry around too much masculine energy, yeah, we definitely have to self-evaluate. But when we carry around too much masculine energy, it tends to overwhelm the natural flow of the feminine, and just us being softer. So we could turn up our feminine energy just by being cautious and aware of ourselves. It's time to come back to being softer, more enjoyable women to be around. We must come back to a state of balance and restoration. Being aware of this can help the flow, ease, and bring joy and support in our lives. A lot of men that I work with, they stay at work because they don't want to go home. And we want to be women that men want to come home to. And so I just want to encourage you guys. Chef, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. I want you guys to back. Come back next week, every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I will be here. And when you come here.
And you know what? I want to share something, too, before we leave.
Okay.
I was just thinking, I'm all for the team, right? I'm for the team, right?
Okay.
And what I just visualized is when a man marries a woman and you pick her up and you carry her across that threshold of your home, guess what you're forming? A T. You're forming a T. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're forming a T. So that's why I'm down for that teamwork. We building together.
Yeah.
And like you said, we got to let all this I stuff go.
Definitely.
We gotta,
It's a lot of people operate in selfishness. I think we all have a bit of selfishness. But again, everything just needs balance. And that's what this was about as well. Just finding that balance and coming back into that soft place. Thank you so much again, Chef. Teamwork. That's what he said, teamwork. So when you come on this show,
make that tea.
You will get these good vibes, this good energy. You're going to get some motivation and information. Meet me here next week.
Yeah.
All right? Peace.